Let me tell you something, guys. Not a single person who watched this show last year, I did this same question like 15 times between March, April last year through August. Predict Michigan's record from 2022. Nobody got it right. Not a single person got a 12-0 record right, unless they were joking. Some people said, LOL, 12-0, etc. I saw a ton of 11-1s, etc. So my challenge to you guys will predict Michigan's regular season record, the 12 games that are on the schedule. Let's take a look at them really quick. If you haven't seen Michigan's schedule next year, haven't paid attention that much, East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green will be one of the weaker out-of-conference slates in all of the Power 5. Then Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana. Hell, guys, Michigan State shouldn't be that good next year. You're going to be at October 21st, and I don't know if Michigan will even be challenged at this point through 4 or 8 weeks of the season. Then you got a bye week. Challenge, the slate gets a little bit harder after that. I think Purdue will be pretty good next year in November. Penn State, I think it's going to be a top 6-7 team to start the year. I really like what we've got coming back out of Penn State. They got their top 2 freshman running backs coming back. They've got a 5-star quarterback, Drew Aller, who will be a redshirt freshman or sophomore, whatever class they'll have him in. Maryland, we'll see about them again. 2 of his brothers coming back, Talia, and then Ohio State coming to the Big House November 25th. Michigan will wrap up their schedule, as always, of course, guys, on December 2nd with the Big Ten championship game. But just count the games through Ohio State. Predict Michigan's record next year in the regular season. This year, coming up, we are 6 months and 6 months and 2 weeks away from Michigan playing the first game, going for a three-peat in the Big Ten, three-peat beating Ohio State. So let me know. 12-game 2023 regular season record, predict down in the comments. You are watching the Michigan Football Report. As always, I am your host, James Yoder. We're going to take some more of your questions. Had a bunch of questions coming on the Facebook page, Twitter, and YouTube. We're going to get to the best of those right now. Winfred M. says, what do you think? Why do you think our passing game is so mediocre? And what do you think could be done to make us top tier? I think it's mediocre because Jim Harbaugh is a tad too old school, and he has been too old school for his entire coaching career. But there have been bouts where he's, the light's gone on, if even for a little bit. And if you look back to his time at Stanford, his last year there, they came with a very high potent passing attack in 2010. 2012, they went to the Super Bowl. They changed their offense mid-year. Alex Smith got hurt for a few weeks. They put in Colin Kaepernick, and they completely reinvented themselves with a read option system. And at the time, it was the first time an NFL team had gone to a Super Bowl with a read option quarterback, guy getting 100-plus yards pretty much every game, and Colin Kaepernick. So Harbaugh's shown it at times with Michigan, but it's never really been consistent. The only time he's really been innovative is maybe the last 2 years, going away from the passing game almost exclusively to a run-heavy attack. So I think it's Jim Harbaugh being a tad too old school, in my opinion, is the reason why Michigan has struggled with a top-tier passing game. We'll see how they can shake it up. Can Kirk Campbell, new quarterbacks coach, be some sort of difference maker when it comes to J.J. McCarthy entering his second year as Michigan's starting quarterback? Next question coming in from Bill Graves. Bill says, do you think Penn State or Ohio State is the bigger threat this year? Well, let's think about that for a second. Ohio State, better threat, bigger threat most years. Penn State has a hell of a team coming back, despite the fact that Michigan, beat them pretty dang handily last year. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a moment, but did want to tell you about Athletic Greens. Folks, the Michigan Football Report is sponsored by Athletic Greens, and I love Athletic Greens. I take it on a daily basis, and it has truly made a difference in my overall health and well-being. You can get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I started taking AG1 in the morning as part of my routine, and has become a habit I truly look forward to. Not only does it provide comprehensive health benefits, but it also helps me feel ready to take on the day. Whether I'm hitting the gym or just running errands, AG1 gives me the energy and focus I need to power through. In addition, it's a great supplement for recovery and is a habit that I love to include before and after my workout. AG1 makes me feel like I'm on the same level as the Michigan football athletes that win Big Ten championships, and it inspires me to be as great as them. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. It also costs less than $3 a day. Pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality source ingredients. Win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. Try it out. You won't regret it. The link is down in the comments and the description of today's video, athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Back to this question from Bill Graves. Who's a bigger threat? I guess you can make a good argument. I don't really have a great answer for you yet because I don't know what Ohio State's going to have coming back on offense. I think Kyle McCord is going to get the job. He'll be coming in his third year with at the program, top 25 recruit. They've heard a lot of really good things, but they've also got a freshman who'll be in his second year next year, Devin Brown. If one of those guys can turn into a competent level quarterback like Ohio State has been churning out for 20-plus years, then Ohio State's the answer because they have the best receiving core in college football, top 5 running back room, good offensive line, strong defense. But if not a quarterback, then it's Penn State because I think Drew Aller is that kind of quarterback, and they've got big-time running backs coming back. 2 freshmen who basically were their top 2 guys last year will be sophomores, strong receiving group, and a solid defense, although they are losing a few core pieces. I think Ohio State will be ranked 4th or 5th in the polls to start next year. Michigan will probably be ranked 2nd, maybe 3rd at the worst. I expect Penn State to come in 6th, 7th, or 8th. So for now, I'll say Ohio State. But I do think Penn State's going to be a hell of a team. And I think there's a chance that, 2 of these 3 teams, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, will be in the college football playoff next season. But I'll ask you guys this question. Which of these teams will be better in 2023, Ohio State or Penn State? Give me an OSU or a PSU down in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Tyler Prinsing, do you think Edwards could get 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving? Somebody on the show on Thursday said, cool, Michigan have 2,000-yard backs. It'd be crazy if Corum got 1,000, Edwards got 1,000, and then Edwards also had 1,000 receiving. That'd be kind of mind-blowing. But let's take a look at what his stats were last year. Missed 5 or so games with injury, was the backup running back. Still had 991 yards. Obviously, those numbers took a big bump towards the end of the year, getting the start in the last 3 games, Ohio State, Purdue, and then TCU. But they didn't involve him in the passing game as much as I expected. Remember, he had 170-plus yards, I think it was 175, in a single game as a true freshman against Maryland, only 200 yards total last year. So I think the answer is probably no. But if anybody could do it, I think it's certainly Donvan Edwards. I think he is an electric player. I think it's probably the most unique skill set Michigan has ever had on offense outside of Denard Robinson. Right? Denard Robinson was maybe one of the best running backs in the country, also a starting quarterback for Michigan for 3 years. Hell, they probably could have put him in at wide receiver as slot and had some serious success. I think it's possible, but I think with Blake Corum coming back and the amount of attention he'll get, I think it's very improbable that it'll actually happen. Guys, if you're looking for the best offseason news, rumors, recruiting, and more, whatever kind of storylines or questions are out there on this program, go down below the video. You see that big subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button so every time you come back to YouTube that you get our videos in your feed. We're keeping videos up about 4 or 5 days per week, kind of going off the 7-day-week schedule that we have during the season. You'll still get Michigan football videos from this channel. 4 videos a week, 3 videos, 5 videos this entire offseason, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Back to Donovan Edwards for a second. I'm so pumped. I am so pumped to see what Michigan has from Edwards and what he can put together with a full season of being healthy, right? That's been the problem with him for 2 years, has been running back 3 as a freshman, then the backup to Blake Corum this year. And many people said, okay, he's going to be a starter in 2023. Now Corum's coming back, the kind of 1A, 1B. Get him involved more in the passing game. Get him involved more in the running game at times. Don't overdo it with Blake Corum. Hell, get him more in the passing game when he throws the ball. I remember the Big Ten championship game as a true freshman. Threw a 45-yard, just absolute dart, not dart, but perfectly thrown pass down the sideline to Roman Wilson. I think he could be Reggie Bush 2.0, an absolute game breaker. He's got to stay healthy, and Michigan needs to be a little more creative on the offensive side of the ball. Indiana Blue Crew says, James, do you consider yourself to be media? If no, why not? Interesting question. We decided to take this one because I've seen different people when I make jokes on Twitter. That's not journalistic integrity and some of that. I don't care about that. No, I am not. I don't consider us media because I think media, the role of media, our culture has kind of become a joke at this point. We are not trying to break stories on a given day. I don't really care if Bruce Feldman tweets something out about the program because he's got a better source from time to time. We have sources from time to time, and we tell you about them. We give you information in advance. But at the end of the day, our job here, our goal here is to inform and entertain. There's a lot of people putting out the same regurgitated content. Whatever Michigan puts out in a press release, whatever's officially announced, that's only content that they'll put out. And you guys know the the usual suspects all around the Michigan media atmosphere and landscape. That's not ours. We'll put out content. We'll put out news stories if they're not confirmed by the university yet. And we are trying to entertain you guys. If you've seen our live shows, you know what we're talking about. Inform. I think there's a reason why we built such a big audience. It's not because we're first on every single recruiting commitment or anything like that. We have information from time to time, but at the end of the day, we inform you. We're opinionated, and we don't get approval for what stories we cover, like pretty much every other outlet covering the Michigan football program. Carson C. McCray, 13, at Carson, I guess is his name, works for Rivals, put this tweet out the other day. And so because we talked about Jadyn Davis on the last show, thought we'd toss this out there. So this is a Rivals.com writer for Ohio State. It says, Ohio State is trending in the right direction for Jadyn Davis. If you guys saw what I put on the show a couple days ago, I said, I think Jadyn Davis, if it shakes out, I said, if it shakes out past March 1st, I think he ends up at Ohio State. And I don't have any inside information on this. I have not been on top of the Jadyn Davis recruitment. Once we heard from a decent source that he had targeted middle to end of December for a commitment, maybe even like the week between Christmas and New Year's, that came and gone. I just kind of threw up my hands and said, well, nobody knows what this kid's going to do. But I get the feeling that I still get the feeling, that he will choose Michigan. I bet it's going to be Ohio State. They're putting the pressure on him big time. They're making him their number one priority after Dylan Raiola decided to decommit from there, the number one player in the 2024 class. So I don't think he's going to have Michigan. I hope I am wrong. Don't say, you didn't know about that. I have no inside source on this. It's just a gut feeling that I have that he will not end up being a part of the Michigan football program when he decides to make his commitment. He's got only a few months to do it. I mean, he's going to be in college as an early enrollee in 10 months from now. So it's going to happen eventually. I don't think it will be Michigan, just a gut feeling. One of you guys, what is the best pizza place in the state of Michigan? I've got a couple trips back to the Midwest this spring, this summer. We'll be in and around Michigan. Want to know, I documented a few from when we asked this question a month and a half ago. Let me know down in the comments, best pizza place in Michigan. And of course, let me know what city it's in. If it's in my path, I'm going to try and stop into 4, 5, 6 places the next time I'm in the Detroit, Greater Detroit, Ann Arbor area. Let me know best place for pizza in the state of Michigan. All right. ESPN has put out their analytics. Bill Connolly, their S&P Plus analytics guru, most returning production. Now, this includes, and I don't know how they include this, and he explained it in the article, but it doesn't make much sense to me. It includes transfers. So someone like A.J. Barner would help Michigan, where, Eric All would hurt Michigan, but help Iowa somehow. Most returning production. In all of college football, Michigan is the 5th most returning production between offense and defense. I think it's like the number 4 most returning production on offense, and then defense 78%. Florida State, Kansas, FAU, Wyoming, and then Michigan number 5. You see down there the gap between Michigan and other contenders in the Big Ten. Michigan State, 68%. That's 45th in the country. Ohio State, 48th in the country. And Penn State, 56th in the country. Why I find this interesting is in the article from Connolly on ESPN.com, he basically says it is unheard of for a college football playoff team to be returning this much of their team, to be in top 5 of returning production. He says it almost never happens. So that is some pretty exciting news. And he also lists Michigan as the number 2 team to improve year over year, 2022 to 2023, only second to Florida State. If you think about what's an improvement from a 13-0 start to the season, Big Ten champions, college football playoff semifinal loss, I think we all know what that improvement is. It is Houston or bust. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter. It's at James Yoder. Got a lot of haters in my comments from a tweet I put out on Thursday from Ohio State fans. So help me fight the battle. Follow me on Twitter. It's at James Yoder. I will see you guys early this week. Monday, Tuesday, we'll put out another video. Until then, go Blue.